Hi, everybody. I'm glad that you could join us today, whether you're in attendance or you're watching this on YouTube or on any other social media channel. Today, we're going to be discussing something close to my heart, having lived in Africa for 10 years, unlocking South Africa's talent potential, which is for the AEC industry, architectural engineering, construction, and beyond. And Kevin will I will take care of AEC, and Kevin will be the beyond, but showcasing professional talent. So, myself, I am the president and managing member, founder of ADDMORE Services. We specialize in outsourcing scopes of work for architects, engineers, construction industry, and for intelligent resourcing, where we augment your team with professional remote talent. In particular, we use South Africa for the UK market, and we have several architects currently in place in the UK supporting architectural practices from our talent pool. I'd like to introduce you to Kevin Fomengia. Kevin is the CEO of Bridge Labs, but I'd like you to just explain a little bit yourself, Kevin, about you and your company before we go into discuss Kamo.
Thank you, Colin. And I really do appreciate you for allowing us to be here. My name is Kevin Fomengia. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bridge Labs, where we specialize in HR recruitment, mainly in software developers, ranging from data scientists as well as software developers from the continent. We source from South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, you name it. I'm actually a second generation, where my family came from Cameroon. I was born and raised in DC. So I know the continent very well and know how to navigate it. So we've been in the space for over 5+ years and supporting clients all across the globe. So I'm really glad to be here today.
That's great. So we've been about the same time, 5 years. Is interesting. And Kamo is our business development associate who lives in uh, Johannesburg in South Africa, and he's very active working closely with me in finding candidates, placing candidates, customer support, customer follow-up. Um, Kamo, do you want to just give a little bit about your background and so on?
Yeah, well, as mentioned, I'm currently with Colin at More Services. I'm a business development associate here. Prior to that, I was in the UK market, worked for a certain guy there in the UK, a great guy, Micah.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually discovered Colin through Micah. I was the bridge between the company that I used to work with and Colin. And that is how our relationship with Colin was established.
Yeah.
And before Talent Connect, I was also in different markets. I was in the insurance industry. And prior to that, I've also been in the art industry. That's where actually my career began. The sales career, that's where it actually began. We sold art pieces to small businesses. We also sold art pieces to the corporate, and we also sold a bit of art pieces to the government as well, but on individual basis. So, in a nutshell, that's just who I am. But outside of that, I'm just a
He's
normal
a
guy
great,
who
a
loves.
great salesman. I got nothing but good to say. Kamo is very self-motivated. He works on his own down there in Johannesburg for us. He's doing a great job following up with the UK, and I've only got nice words to say for him. In fact, Micah, the guy that he connected us to, is another South African guy from Johannesburg he's actually a lawyer, but he works for a company in the UK, but he has a recruitment company called Talent Connect in the UK, and he brings not only professional staff, which amazed me, he brings workers from South Africa to the UK, from bricklayers, electricians. There is a huge skill shortage in the UK,
Yeah.
and you've got a highly educated workforce in South Africa. So I'm still in cooperation with him and Talent Connect. Mika, a really nice man, and I thanks to Kamo for that introduction originally. So we'll move on into our webinar for the day, and basically I'll give you a little bit more overview about ADDMORE. It more or less says it on the screen, but we specialize in, but definitely only in the architectural engineering construction. That's why it's nice to collaborate with Kevin, because Kevin works in the HR, IT, data, and other reasons. And if anybody ever contacts us for any of those type of services, it'll be my pleasure to refer them to Kevin. And I know that their company will provide a professional follow-up. So I'm a great believer in collaborating between small businesses and helping each other, not always for a dollar, just sometimes just to do something good to help each other. And I believe that, we're all here to be, the more we help each other on this planet, we'll be in a better world. So we focus on offshore, which you just jumped ahead of me there a little bit. We specialize on offshore outsourcing, which is intelligent resourcing. And we call it intelligent resourcing because it's not just a BPO company in Philippines or in India where you've got people running it that are not architects, engineers, constructors. I'm a builder for 50 years. I'm a chartered builder, chartered quantity surveyor. I know the industry, I know the lingo, I know the acronyms, I understand when I listen to what people want, and I understand it, I get it. I've run construction companies from subcontractor companies to main construction companies. So a lot of these other companies, they're from a different background. Maybe he was a former finance guy. Now he decides he wants to make money in BPO, and they're just giving you graduates 2, 3 years out. They're not even qualified to really qualify the people. Where everybody who works for us go through extensive interviews and testing. We're headquartered in Las Vegas in Nevada, and we have a prominent presence is from the Philippines because I worked with a lot of Filipino staff in the Middle East where I was based for 20 years in Dubai. And I also lived and worked in the Philippines, and my wife is from the Philippines. So my brother-in-law is based there and he is running the operation there. And we have about currently 137 Filipinos on the team. In Latin America, for America, since we've now moved into intelligent resourcing, we found that Latin America is really a good source for people because of the time zone similarities, and that is growing. I have another person my talent manager based in Cordoba, Argentina, and again for architects, engineers, construction industry, that is really growing. We probably have over 25 Latin American architects in the United States now, and that's proving very, very successful. South Africa, as we discussed, South Africa, I really target mainly for the UK market, but it can also work in other ways. But mainly we target South Africa talent hub for our UK. I had not been using India or Sri Lanka as talent hubs, but India has a great wealth of BIM architects, and Sri Lanka a great wealth of well-trained quantity surveyors. I have worked with a lot of Indians and Sri Lankans in my 20 years in Dubai, and I actually lived in India for 1 year working there. So although I had stayed away from there, I'm now re-establishing with people that I know, and we're going to utilize those resources for those very specific requirements. So with 50 years experience in construction, which was this September 2025, was my 50th year working. And so I'm getting to be an old guy, but I love what I do. And I love to mentor young people and help people as much as, it's not, as I said, it's not always about just chasing the dollar. And I'd like, Kevin, if you could explain a bit about Bridge Labs.
Thanks, Colin. As I explained earlier, so Bridge Labs, we like to center ourselves as an HR tech startup where we utilize our AI sourcing as well as our interviewing process to make sure that we are getting the best talent. One of the things that we truly value is when you source a talent for Bridge Labs, it's as if you're talking to someone down the street. You should never feel as if the person is 5,000 miles away. You should have that trust. You should feel their energy through the camera. And that's what builds a great working relationship. So how we do that? We do that through our AI interviewing platform where we are able to source hundreds of candidates and they go through the process and we are able to score and evaluate them as quickly as possible. Then we are able to get to like the second and third round. By doing this process, we are able to really to determine this person has the excellent communication skills. This person is able to articulate his or her answer very, very precisely. We understand that this is a global market, and often we all of our talent is candidate facing. So, and that's one of the things we truly value. We're like, we know we are confident that our candidates and our talent can talk face to face with the client without any without any supervision because our ability to source and how we leverage technology. We're tapping it. The reason why we tap into that because numbers don't lie. In about 10 years, 1 out of 4 people in the world is going to be living on the continent of Africa. Approximately about five countries in Africa, from South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, has shown like the highest GDP growth. It is booming, and it is a very young continent as well. As other countries, you see the median age being the median age around 35, 40 years old. The South Africa median age is around 18 years old. So there is a talent shortage. So this is why we came in to provide that infrastructure to build that trust. So I'm very happy to be here and to really partner with ADDMORE services.
That's really interesting. What about Peng Boris? What's his background, Kevin?
Yes, so paying Boris, he's our CTO.
Right.
He is the brains behind our AI and our platform.
Okay.
Um, I met Boris, I met Payne. He's also Cameroonian. So
All
so
right.
so we have known each other for 4+ years, and he's definitely a diamond on our team because he understands the continent. He understands like the developers. And if we need any training to make sure that we are setting them up for success, we leverage Pang and our other talent managers on our team.
Excellent. That sounds great. Because I just saw the name Peng. I wasn't sure if he was from China because I've worked a few
Yeah,
Pengs, but they were
yeah.
Chinese. Yeah.
He get that all the time. He get that
Yeah, I'm
all the
sure. Yeah.
time.
Okay. All right. So let's move on then. So then, again, I think you can explain this better than me. This is more for you.
Sure, sure, yes. So as I mentioned around you seeing a lot of African countries taking a very similar route that we saw what India and China did in the past 20 30 years. And one country, one particular is South Africa. Infrastructure is everything. So the fact that South Africa has like the bandwidth speed is not an issue. So they are able to really connect across like the world. And you see the numbers don't lie when it comes to foreign investment. You know a country is moving significantly when there are foreign investors. More companies want to build and set their footprints, and South Africa is one of them. It's considered part of the Big Four: South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya. And there's a lot of hungry talent that has something to prove. I always say that it's very similar to when you play sports. You always want to have that person on the team that has something to prove. that has something to prove and not going to waste an opportunity. And that's what you see when it comes to South African talents, that they have been overlooked. A lot of the times people are looking elsewhere. So when the South African are able to really have this opportunity working for companies in the UK and the United States, they're not going to take that for granted. They are going to work their tail off because they know this is a life-changing opportunity, not only for themselves, for their family, but more importantly, they love learning new technologies. And it becomes a domino effect to really to excel. And we have seen that the government is stable, right? From all the recent events, from hosting like I know you mentioned hosting like the G20, like the World Cup, like the tourism. So that brings a sense of security. And this is why South Africa is ranked the top three when it comes to doing business in Africa, and the talent is there.
Yeah, I agree. And it's it's been a silent rising star. I think most people haven't noticed it, but it is really developing. There's a lot there. I hope to go back out to South Africa for a holiday at some point and maybe catch up with Kamo, just to see the changes. I mean, I left in 1990. I left. I watched the World Cup rugby in 1995
Mm,
when South
yeah.
Africa beat New Zealand, which was amazing. Mandela came out, united the country, and South Africa won the World Cup, which was amazing. And I was at the match, and within 2 weeks after that, I'd left. But I have been back there on business in over a few years, but it's probably been 10 years since I was last there. So
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to going back. I love the country. So we'll go
Yeah,
on.
no, this is fine. This is fine. And always one of the core pillar of talent development is the middle class. The middle class is growing. So what?
Yes,
So when you
that's when
see
you
the
know it's coming right. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where you can know it's coming right. When you see the middle class is growing, foreign investment, the stable government, that's when you see growth. And that's when you actually
yeah.
want to tap in a lot early. Um,
Yes,
so when you start thinking about the workforce, when it comes to English is not an issue, as you know,
yeah,
South Africa, like the majority of it's an English speaking country, as well as they have like their native dialect as well.
yeah,
Um, is ranked number one when it comes to enterprise readiness, and that says a
yes,
lot. If you see these multi-international companies investing and setting their footprint there, something is happening. Something is
yeah,
there. Like they know the talent is there,
yeah.
and they're able to build.
I must say, I've always been impressed in Africa by their linguistic abilities because when I worked there, most of the South African guys I worked with spoke at least three languages. They'd speak
Hmm.
English, they'd speak Zulu, which is like their own version of the English for the different
Hmm.
tribes or whatever, and then they'd have their own language, be it Xhosa or whichever other language there is. So the majority spoke three languages anyway, and many spoke Afrikaans as well. So four languages, and then you had a lot of people, depending on where you are in Africa, obviously speak French. So you have a lot of these people are speaking 4 to 5 languages. It's a very intelligent workforce down there. So, Kamo, would you like to run us through this page as you're the man down there in South Africa? Why should we come and use your talent?
Yeah, so why South Africa for professional talent? This would be a good question. Firstly, we've got a highly skilled workforce here in South Africa, Colin and Kevin, and the listeners out there. We are home to more than 664,000 plus developers with a professional core of 121,000 plus. We're also ranked number one in Africa for enterprise readiness. We've got the global readiness. So we're ranked 13th globally in terms of the English proficiency. Um, what people need to also understand is that 89% of the UK and the US clients, they have reported easier communication due to cultural affinity. That's South Africa for you. So we've also got an expanding talent pool. Um, yes, of course, there's a massive youth dividend with 80% of developers that are under 35, and they are supported by initiatives that create new jobs that is estimated around 139,000 plus.
Yeah,
That's a huge.
it's a huge number. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that breakdown, Kamo. So we'll move on. Now, in terms of ADDMORE, one of the services that we really offer is our professional talent services. This can be from one person to a team, or even what we call a professional offshore division, a pod. So if you want to move your let's say your estimating team, or your rendering and graphics and visualization team, or your BIM team, you want to have it offshore, we can provide the full pod. We can just provide a team for a project, or we can just provide one person. This service is based on fully managed offshore teams aligned to the client's goals, or the client can just deal with the people directly and manage them on a day-to-day basis, and this is on a monthly rate basis. Um, we handle the hiring, the onboarding, the supervision, and performance, and we can work with a company like Kevin, who has a fantastic HR softwares out there. We can work with Kevin for some of our recruiting, and I would recommend his services with AI for other people to take advantage of that for recruiting. We provide quality assurance and delivery oversight. So, like Kevin, when we onboard people, we will do upskilling, we will do mentoring, we provide them with checklists, mini manuals, giving them the tools to succeed. Nobody comes into a job in this day and age. It's all moving so fast and knows everything. And also, every company has its own way of working. So we have to spend some time and not just on board them one day. Hi, welcome to the company. Here's a manual, and let them start the next day. We need to explain them how we do it, why we do it, give them the tools to succeed. Nobody wants to be hiring and firing people. In ADDMORE, our turnover rate is very, very low. The only reason that people seem to leave our business at any time is because we don't have enough work to keep them busy. That would be the only reason, really, that we're encountering. We pay well, we pay on time, and we mentor them. We let the clients focus on the results of the performance, because we give good productivity with good quality, but we handle the operation, all the day-to-day operations. So you don't have to worry about it. If you're an architect and you like to design and meet your clients, do that, and we'll focus on producing all the technical drawings and everything to give you, which is very important work, but it's tedious work, and it's a lot of volume. So we enable you to focus on your clients and your results. It's ideal for companies seeking consistency and minimal management overhead. When they employ from us, you don't increase your fixed overhead. It's a project expense. It's an expense. It's not an overhead. You don't need to buy a computer. You don't need to buy a software. You don't need to provide an office room with a desk and a chair, and then you don't have all those, especially if you're here in the United States, when somebody goes to leave the company, it's not just simple hire and fire. I mean, I worked in New York City for 5 years. Everyone says hire and fire states, but it's never that easy. When you want to let people go, it costs you money in the United States, and it's never just, 1 week's notice. It does cost. So with us, our workforce is scalable. You have a peak period. You can utilize us for 3 months or 6 months. Then you give us notice, and then we wind down and go away. And then when you need us, we can come back again. Now, obviously, we can't guarantee the same people are going to come back again. So we recommend if you get a team on board that you're happy with, augment your own team with these people and keep them. Then you can be assured you're retaining those talented people continuously throughout the duration of the project. Offshore talent. Within our talent, like Kevin, we hire professional peoples, but we decided everybody's got costs, cost on the mind. We don't work with we're not the cheapest company. I don't think we're the most expensive either by far, but we don't compete with the very low cut rate people. We believe in providing a quality service in an industry that we're specialists in. So what we did to try and make it a bit more competitive, we said, okay, we'll make 3 tiers of people. We'll have the elite professional talent, which is a very senior guy who's got a degree, maybe even got a master's with 10 years plus experience. And you can use them for the team leaders, more seniors role, more standalone, independent, less managed, they can manage themselves better. Or the majority of people that we place is from our core professional talent, which is between 5 to 10 years experience, where they're good at doing the work. They're very technically hands-on. So we recommend people to have a mix of elite, core, and then the next one we'll see in a minute is smart assist. So you can have maybe one elite talent guy, 4 of the core guys, and a smart assist. They're not virtual assistants. We don't provide virtual assistants. We provide assistants in a profession. It's just they have less experience. So you can have an architect. You're an architect. We can give you a graduated architect with 1 to 5 years experience. They are obviously lower costs, but they can provide task-based support. They can do drafting, documentation, data entry. They're generally very up to speed on software and technology because they're the next generation of upcoming core talent is your current smart assist. So it's a bit like an a la carte menu, really. You can pick and choose as you like what you want and build your team accordingly. This helps the budget, obviously, because a smart assist guy rate per hour compared to an elite, there's quite a big difference. So that's how we've tried to make it again more competitive. When people want to put a team together, they don't have to be just paying for all the top. Maybe it's overkill to put 5 guys on a job with 15 years experience. Maybe you don't need that. Maybe you need one guy with that and the other guys with maybe 70 years experience or whatever. Okay, so before we go into this bridge, the one last thing I would add that we also do, we have what we call an ADDMORE collective. So, for example, if we have a professional in the US who is a freelance architect, for example, we pre-qualify them to be registered with us. And either if they're only a one-man band and they're losing work because they don't have enough manpower, we can support them with our offshore remote production. Or if we get a larger project where the client is saying, look, I want somebody local, I want somebody on site, we can hire that guy to be the local coordinator. He knows the area, he knows the codes, he can attend meetings if required, but he's got the main power of the offshore remote production team. And that's also becoming very successful, I see. So I think we'll go over to Bridge Labs now on Africa's Tech Talent Gateway.
Thanks for that. So yes, one of the things that we really always emphasize that there is a shortage of tech talent out there in the world. Often the whole buzzword of AI stealing or taking away software developer jobs, that's not going to happen anytime soon because you still need the technical expertise when it comes to security implications. You still need those software architects. You still need those the database managers. AI is augmenting and complementing the software developers. So, and with Africa, with the median age of 18 years old, The continent has over 1 billion people. So we could do the math that nearly around 500 million people are younger than 18 years old. And this is why a lot of countries, such as, Asian countries, such as Japan, Korea, Germany, UK, they are looking into Africa to help support and to fulfill their talent needs. So as we think about what kind of developers, we are mentioning full stack, front end, back end developers that's very proficient in like the industry languages such as TypeScript, Next.js, Python, even the more enterprise languages such as Java. Those they are very well skilled. And most importantly, in places like South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, they have already been exposed to the international work. So they are already well experienced and well equipped, knowing how to engage with diverse teams and understand that culture itself. So this is how we are able to source the top three on percent for developers as well as other technical talent. And the cost advantage is very key as well. Um, I think we've all been affected by inflation, and the cost will continue to go up. But when you compare like the costs when it comes to like the developers in the country, compared to other regions across the world, is very affordable, 30% cheaper, and you are still able to provide them with an excellent lifestyle as well. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. And the time zone alignment, all of our technical talent works on the US and European time zone. And I can share a story how we have one client that is based in California, and they also have an office in Ireland. So and they hire several developers from in Africa. So sometimes on Monday and Wednesday, they're working on the US time zone. And then on Thursday and Friday, they are able to just quickly switch and work on the European time zone. And that's not impacting their lifestyle at all. Instead of ending at 9 o'clock p.m., they're just ending at 6 o'clock. So the geographical advantages of Africa being able to work in different time zones that is not compared to, I know sometimes people want to outsource to India, and that's a huge time zone difference. And that does impact when it comes to like the software development cycle. Sometimes you just need to jump on the call. Jump on the call. You need to do a stand-up meeting and able to really address the certain needs.
Yeah,
So when Africa from the time zone advantages, from the like the cost effectiveness, the untapped talent is huge.
yeah, that's really interesting, actually. So let's move on a little bit. Okay, yeah, this is for really from both of us. I mean, from recruitment to ongoing support. Well, Kevin's company does a lot more for recruitment than me in that they're recruiting for clients. We do a lot of recruiting at ADDMORE because we're always looking for talent, but we do it at the moment mostly in-house. But we are talking with Kevin now, and we're looking for some of the senior roles. We need to also cooperate. Both ADDMORE and Bridgeland combine our expertise to deliver managed end-to-end talent solutions for any project. We're Kevin with the IT and the HR side, or with us with the architects, engineering, estimating side. Um, so we do all the heavy lifting, and on Kevin's side with the AI, they really take that a level further with the AI and really take a lot of that tedious going through, anybody who's been involved in HR piles of CVs and going through them, his software can really minimize that for you and give you more time to focus on studying the CVs of the people that you might be interested to hire. So I would again encourage you to talk with Kevin for recruitment, especially in his specialist fields in the HR and IT industry. Talent outsourcing, very sophisticated vetting process. Even in ADDMORE, to join ADDMORE as an engineer or an architect, it's not just a question of, hey, I'm an architect, here's a copy of my certificate. There are AutoCAD drafting tests, Revit tests, BIM tests, Excel tests, QS tests. We do our homework to make sure that the people we're offering to our clients can do what we're putting on the paper. So we do a lot of pre-testing, which can be frustrating for some candidates, I think, at times, but especially the more experienced ones. But just because somebody says 15 years, oh yes, I know how to use Excel, but when you ask him, can you do me a pivot table? Do you know what's if, lookups? They don't. They've only got basic knowledge of it. So we need to know what level people are in software skills really at. These are an onboarding. We need to culturally align. So if we're sourcing people from the Philippines and they're going to be working in America, actually it's easier because most Filipinos have been a big American presence there, and the culture for the USA is pretty well known there. But if there is any cultural alignments to do, we will help advise them on that, on the way things work. And especially in construction, we have a lot of terminology in the United States, which is very different from the UK. It's the same language, but it's like two languages. So, we've got guys in the USA that are talking about baseboards. The guy in the UK are talking about skirtings. If you've never heard the term baseboard, you don't know what it is. If you've never heard the term skirting, you don't know what it is. So we make sure, for whichever country they're going to be working in, that we do a good onboarding and provide them that type of local knowledge information. IT set up an infrastructure. I'm not sure how Kevin does that because he's more specialized in that field. But for our remote guys, we have our own guys based out of India who remote in. They will check any new candidate's going to work for us. They will check their speed of their computer, the health of their computer, check it for any viruses, make sure that the remote guy using maybe his own laptop or computer that is suitable in capacity, specification, and security for what we need to use. Security is a big thing. We do most things we do nowadays is two-factor authentication. We are to even setting up a portal for a lot of communication. So cybersecurity is a real problem out there generally. Ongoing support and performance monitoring. We don't just put a person to a client and just leave them run. We're there to support them along the way, both the company and the candidate. We want to keep in touch with that candidate. Is he happy? Is everything going okay? Is he being treated properly? Is his attendance good? And monitoring his performance in terms of productivity and quality. And both ADDMORE and Bridge Labs are very keen to follow all of this because this is again the success story for the candidate that we provide. We want the company to succeed and have a good result from the people we provide, but we're very aware we're giving, as Kevin said earlier, there is a family behind every person we employ that we are helping to improve their position by having a good job with a regular income. And we're very important to make sure that they're getting the right fit for them and that they've got a long-term engagement.
I can talk more about the IT setup and infrastructure.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
and yeah, so one of the things that we leverage is virtual desktops. So we leverage virtual desktops, so meaning the code always lives on a virtual machine and never lives on their local computer. So that way that allows that peace of mind, um, and more IP protection over that. So I would definitely, there are a lot of great resources why this is an excellent strategy for remote work, just in case if you are have any hesitation or apprehension around tapping into just remote developers in general, and you think about like the code. This is why we are able to implement virtual desktops.
Oh, that's an excellent idea, and something I'll look into if I can do that with our side as well. I mean, I don't know about you, Kevin, but I'm getting phishing emails. We've even had a company who set up a spoof domain where it actually looks like my email, except the I is a capital I instead of a small I. They've hacked in, telling our clients our accounts changed, send the money here. We've had all this. We've had our bank account hacked. I
Yeah.
mean, even Chase Bank account is a big company. We know anybody going to take deduct ACH payment from our bank, I should get a message. Somehow or another, they got around that message. I mean,
Hmm.
Chase paid us, but they breached Chase's security. And what is shocking, when I went to speak to Chase, they said, "Oh, by the way, I've been hacked. I've got a problem with my bank account number." I said, "Oh, here you are, sir. Here's a new number." It's that common. They've got a whole process in that you immediately get the new number. They'll
Hmm.
they'll cover your loss until they've investigated it and to sure that it was nothing wrong by your side. But cybersecurity is absolutely so. Like especially Kevin, you do developers, you're dealing with lots of code and confidential new things that people are working with. There are ways to handle this to minimize any risks. And it sounds like Kevin's virtual desktop is a really good way to go, especially in the fields that he's specializing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I commend you for that because you're protecting the client. Okay, let's go. So let's get in started. In terms of the ADDMORE side, it's very easy, and Kevin can tell me after anything different from his company. But for us, we have a discovery meeting, a consultation, and the main thing for me on that is really not to talk, is to listen. What do you want? What's your pain? What's the solution you need? And as it's in the industry that I fully understand, I will then be able to go out and match the talent and onboard them that you require. And we're very successful in that. We will normally send you, when you get two or three shortlisted CVs from me, I might have gone through 30 guys to get you to two or three, and you will get the CV and you'll get a video, 2 minute self video of the guy so you can see. Because a lot of people are concerned, oh, he's from Africa, he's from Latin America, he's from Philippines. What about his accent? Can I understand it? We've got to realize we're dealing with professional people here. All these people speak English very, if not at natural proficiency, but definitely at business professional proficiency. But just so they can hear the accent and be sure, we send a 2 minute video. Do you like the look of the person? Because, whether even we're working remotely, still a people business. I look at Kevin on the fly. I don't like the look of Kevin. I'm not going to employ him. That's just how people are. It's amazing how people can take an instant dislike to a guy for whatever reason. Doesn't matter about his race, color, anything else. They just look at a guy and I don't like the look of the guy. So you want to get around that. We put the videos forward. This is the person. And some guys, a guy will do a video for us and it will be his hair's not brushed, he got an old dirty t-shirt on. Well, I'm not even going to put him forward as a candidate, and he's immediately off my list because you don't have to be dressed in a suit and tie, but if you're going to be interviewed, professionally by somebody who may want you to be client facing on meetings, you've got to show them that you've got ability to put on a clean shirt and have a shave and turn up in a professional manner and be present for the interview. So we also check that. In the first 90 days, obviously, when somebody starts with any company in the first month, they've got to adjust to the company, to their rules, their regulations. You're never going to get the maximum output in the first 30 days. You've got to invest. You've got to be willing, whether it's a staff member that you've hired or not a remote person. You have to invest time with onboarding, training, mentoring, as Kevin said earlier. And some of these younger guys are really great. They're very enthusiastic. They're very well educated. They just like sometimes a bit of experience. So with a little bit of mentoring, you can really get a good person. And over the first 90 days, by the second month, you should be fully functioning, rolling, everything going good. And we just keep in touch. And then most of the people who take on our guys for 3 months end up extending them for 6 months, 9 months, a year, because they're happy with the people. We have support and communication tools. There's a lot of different ways we do this. We use Teams as a principal tool for discussing things with our team. When it comes to reviewing drawings and things like that, Zoom is actually good, but we also use Bluebeam Digital Studio for having, we can have a meeting online, a group of people, review the drawing online, mark it up there and then, and distribute it to all present. So you can be in 3 different countries and having a meeting over a drawing. The technology exists now to manage that. We also use Trello, just so that we find that a good management tool. And WhatsApp is another preferred business. WhatsApp is another preferred tool. If we have a team of people that may be in different locations but working on one project, we create a WhatsApp group, and then we give access to that whoever needs to be involved. So so the team are united. Because again, even though they're working remote, we want them to feel part of a company, part of a family. So like now it's Christmas period, it's amazing what you can do with Zoom in terms of having party games with 25 people looking at you on the camera, but you can make an effort and make people feel involved. So that's getting started. So I think we've given everybody a little bit of information. I'm not sure how many people are on the call right now, but if anybody has any questions, just drop it in the chat box and we'll try and answer it now, Kevin or myself or Kamo. And if you don't have any questions today, we will be sending you if you're registered for the meeting or you attended it, you'll get the you'll get the video, you'll get the ebook, you'll get the slides, and then study everything and feel free to reach out to Kevin. Again, I think HR, IT, and recruitment with their AI software. Check them out online. Kevin can give you his email or website information at the end, and or reach out to us, and we'll always pass it along to Kevin as well. Happy to do that. Okay, so let's just move on, and then if any questions did come in, but I don't think so. So anybody joining today, I actually wrote a book myself this year, which we published, which was called Offshore Outsourcing, which you can get on Amazon. And we're going to be releasing another book next year by March, which will be Intelligent Resourcing. You'll get this download of this ebook that we've done, and it's an interesting read. It is aimed for the AEC firms that we deal with specifically. But is there anything else you'd like to add, Kevin? Or I think it's been a good, informative meeting. I think we've nearly taken up 50 minutes. It's been good. We'll put this into some clips, which will be released on social media. It will be fully released by I'm not sure 2-3 weeks on YouTube. And we encourage all of you out there, as I said, for HRIT, Bridgewater Labs. They're connected. They've got great people, good systems, and their recruitment tools. Reach out to Kevin. He can give you more information on a one-to-one consultancy, and likewise for Addley.
Yes, I had nothing to add. Wow, I'm about to add something at the end, right? I always say that,
Yeah.
but thank you so much, Colin. I think I'm really happy to serve as a guest for today's webinar. And I'm very excited on how we can really combine our efforts and we
Yes.
can help a lot of companies and also help a lot of lives as well. So it is
Yeah.
a
It's a great thing.
win-win situation.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate you for having me today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on board. You've been very informative and very interesting to talk with. And I think I've picked up a couple of things from you along the way today as well. Kamo, as always, it's great to see you. He's a superstar for me down there in Africa. He works very hard. He's on his own, self-motivated. We include him in the team as much as we can on remote stuff. But he's doing a fantastic job, and he's building the UK market for me from South Africa. And hopefully, I'll get down there maybe next year even, and we'll meet in person, Kamo. So thank you guys. Appreciate it all. And actually, I'll meet you over on the team. So I want to have a couple of discussions with you guys. Thank you guys. All the best now.
So
Bye bye.
sounds good. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.